Imagine a presence, silent and unseen. It lives inside nearly half the world's population, and most of them will never know it's there. This is the story of Toxoplasma gondii, a microscopic parasite with the power to infiltrate the brain and subtly manipulate behavior. Its influences, most starkly seen in the animal kingdom. Take a rat! For instance, a rat's life is governed by a deep, instinctual fear of cats. It's a survival mechanism honed over millions of years. But when Toxoplasma gondii infects a rat, something terrifying happens. That fear vanishes. The parasite rewrites the neural code, silencing the alarm bells in its brain. The once cautious rodent is drawn, almost magnetically, towards the scent of its predator, walking willingly into its own demise. It's a chillingly effective strategy for the parasite to complete its life cycle, as it can only sexually reproduce inside a cat's intestines. Now, consider this. What happens when this parasite finds a home in the human brain? The effects aren't as dramatic as a rat marching toward a cat, but they are just as unnerving because of their subtlety. Scientists have been studying this for years, and they've uncovered some disturbing correlations. Infected individuals, on average, show slightly slower reaction times. This might seem minor, but think about driving a car at high speed. A fraction of a second can be the difference between a near miss and a fatal collision. In fact, multiple studies have found a statistically significant link between Toxoplasma infection and an increased risk of traffic accidents. It doesn't stop there. Researchers have also observed links to increased impulsivity and a greater appetite for risk. Decisions that might have once given you pause suddenly seem less daunting. The subtle voice of caution in your head grows quieter. There are even associations with certain mood shifts and personality changes. It's not that the parasite is consciously controlling you, but it appears to be nudging the intricate chemistry of your brain, tweaking the dials of your personality and decision-making processes from within. A tiny organism, whispering suggestions to your subconscious. So, how does this invisible intruder get in? It's surprisingly easy. The most common routes are through eating undercooked meat, especially pork, lamb, or venison, or through contact with oocysts from infected cat feces. This could happen while cleaning a litter box or gardening in contaminated soil. Once inside, it travels through the body and can form microscopic, dormant cysts, and its preferred destination, the brain. These tiny cysts embed themselves in your neurons, often settling in regions that are critical for processing fear, pleasure, and making decisions. They just sit there, patiently waiting. For many people, these cysts will remain dormant forever, silent passengers with no noticeable effect. But for a subset of the population, the story might be different. The parasite's presence could subtly alter the delicate balance of neurotransmitters, like dopamine. This could be the mechanism behind the observed changes in behavior, the reduced fear, the heightened impulsivity. Imagine that moment of hesitation before making a risky choice. That internal debate. What if a parasite was tipping the scales, encouraging you to leap without looking? The choices you believe are entirely your own might be influenced by a tenet that has been living in your mind for years, even decades. It's a form of biological puppetry, so quiet and gradual that you would never notice it. There's no sudden jolt, no alien voice in your head. It's just a slow, persistent reshaping of your thought patterns and impulses. This isn't science fiction. It's a real biological phenomenon being actively studied. The idea that a single-celled organism can influence something as complex and personal as human behavior is a humbling and unsettling reminder of our place in the natural world. Toxoplasma gondii. It doesn't have eyes, it doesn't have a mouth, and it doesn't have a malevolent plan. It's just a life form, following its biological imperative to survive and reproduce. But in doing so, it plays with the very fabric of our minds. It reminds us that some of the most terrifying nightmares aren't the ones that scream and chase us in the dark, but the ones that are invisible, silent, and already inside. Thanks for watching.